So this is a case that you guys voted on. Well, one of two cases, in fact. In fact, you guys tied the vote at a perfect 50-50 by the cutoff, which left me with one option. We're gonna have to do both of them. But right now, for some reason, probably the fact that they had to go back and redesign it, the Lianli air-cooled Mini is not available. So today, we got the Fractal Torrent. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is a big box. It's, I think, as big as the one for the XL that I did. But this time, hopefully it won't be as dark, right? All right, let's roll that intro and start unboxing this. So this is the biggest box I've unboxed in a while on this channel, but this is the Fractal Design Torrent computer case. That's an interesting choice, Fractal. Specifications, we've got 2 dedicated 3.5 drive bays, 4 dedicated 2.5 trays. Okay, they call them trays here. Interesting. Well, that just means that you got some bays. 7 expansion slots, motherboard compatibility, ITX, micro ATX, ATX, eATX, SIEB, SSICEB. So big motherboards included, or can fit, which should be a no-brainer because this is actually a fairly large case. Compatibility, it's got compatibility with a ton of fans, and included is 2 of Fractal's more interestingly sized, I think it's 180 millimeters. So not quite a 200 millimeter, but also not as intrusive as a 200 millimeter, and 3, if I'm not mistaken, 140 millimeters. It also comes with an improved fan hub that doesn't catch fire anymore, so that's kind of a good thing, right? Along here, you'll notice one of the defining features of this case is the fact that it comes in colors other than just black and white. We got the gray one today because it's actually been a very long time since I built in a gray computer case. Also, we've got the light tempered glass. Back here, we've got in several different languages, a bunch of features. We've got 180 millimeter optimized for maximum air intake. An interesting layout. Yes, the power supply is on the top on this one, which is very weird. Newly developed 180 millimeter fans, yes. PWM, now with less fire. Seamless side panels with bolt-free top latching mechanism. Top-mounted aerodynamic PSU shroud. Front fan bracket allows for unblocked airflow. Removable top bezel. And USB 3.1 Gen 2 Type-C with fast charging support. And then this is probably the side that actually faces the shelf when you buy this case. Let's get into it. Safety first, guys. Safety first. I don't know why this has that. Before returning this product, please reach out to Fractal. Oh, okay. So in case it actually was damaged, reach out to Fractal. This is the first box in here. It contains, oh, metal brackets. Okay, so I'm assuming these are the optional brackets because right now it's gonna be pre-installed with the 180 millimeter brackets. Something I love about Fractal is their commitment to like plain exteriors and then beautiful interiors. It's just a thing that they do. Like, I don't know if you can really see that, but that's got the Fractal logo like printed on the inside. I think this made it all the way over here without any damage, despite there being holes in the box that would say otherwise. I'm a good unboxer. This is a keyboard modding thing, but this is the kind of foam you put behind your PCB because it's purposely not the staticky kind. Oh, I almost yeeted my accessories box. This includes a GPU support bracket. It's standoffs and screws and standoff tools and cable ties. Pretty cool, pretty cool. You know, surprisingly, it's not as heavy as it looks like it would be. It might just be because I'm so used to Supernova, and Supernova weighs a ton. Oh, that's a beautiful color. Oh my goodness, that gray. Is that plastic? I think that's plastic. It's a very nicely painted plastic. What is this? No other reviewer, I think, has pointed this out at all. Like I'm calling these boys out right now. So right along here on this are cable ties. And it's to route your USB cables down the case, or your power supply cable down the case. I'm sure you could use your actual USB cables in there too. Yeah, so I think it's for the power supply, because the power supply is gonna be up here, which is gonna be super weird. But then you can just use it for your other cables too. That's kind of cool. That's ingenious. That's actually a really smart idea. So right off the bat, I actually really like a lot that's going on here. We've got this plastic, I think it's plastic, along the top. It has a nice touch to it. It seems to go all the way around. So this is the main like accent piece of the case. Inside, of course, we've got a steel, which is also powder coated. A steel frame. It's like steel everywhere. I can see an RGB strip right here. Of course, all of our expansion. And then on the inside of this is a beautiful array of fans. Let's see. Okay, that's a nice little mount. On the inside here, we've got these massive 80mm fans. These all look impressive. Like, fan-wise, they did not skimp on quality. Got some, oh no, it just rubbed off. Looks like there's some manufactured gunk on there, but that's fine. That front is certainly something. Like, those are very thick. Well, I'm not sure if they're gonna be 100% effective. This kind of ventilation pattern hypothetically would help smooth out the airflow. That just pops off. I can get right to the filter, which, nice detail. So on the filter itself, the support pieces match up with the ones on this side. So you don't have support pieces blocking airflow. Very well done. That badge is metal. That's nice. We can get a good look at these massive fans. I wonder how long it's gonna be until someone makes a radiator that's 180mm like these, because this could be a really cool water cooling case with that size fan. I bet you Alpha Cool's already got it done, because Alpha Cool, they do stuff like that. Rear tempered glass panel comes off the same way as the front one. That's nice. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, that almost was bad. That was almost real bad. That piece just popped off on the inside. On this side, we've got our cabling, which is all black, which is greatly appreciated. Hard drive cages. So these are for 2 full-size hard drives. And then these are our SSD mounts. They're all toolless, right? Yeah, toolless and metal. So it's like everything on the interior of the case is nice and metal, and it's this nice, even gray color, which I really like. Oh, and then this is our fan connector. They didn't pre-wire the fans, which is actually interesting. SATA. And this is the last piece right here, which comes off with 2 thumb screws. Oh my goodness. They're thumb screws that are actually thumb tight. Are they captive? They feel captive. Ooh, fancy. Are they captive? I don't know. They look captive. All right, how do I detach the top? That is the question, because I have to get in there for the power supply. Ah, slide and then lift. Again, like all of the actual plastic details are actually really high quality plastic. And then right here, we can get a good look at our integrated RGB strip. Yes, this case has RGB. This is a Fractal case. It doesn't look like a Fractal case. And it has RGB. That's insane. Granted, this is also like my what, third or fourth Fractal case that I've had. Now that's interesting. Pass-through ports on the top here. This is kind of hard to see, but there are 3 pass-through ports right there on the top. Why would they do that? I guess fill and drain port, but it's still gonna be behind this panel when this is on. But why would you need 3? Normally, when you have a situation with this, with 3 pass-throughs for liquid cooling purposes, you would have one like flow in both directions and maybe drain and fill port, but you can't really put a thing up here. Like you wouldn't be able to put like a pump or anything unless, I mean, that's a weird idea, but it is possible unless Fractal intends, but there's not really much room. Like, it's not like there's that much. I don't know. I don't know what the intention is up there. It's cool, but I don't know what it's for. You can't drain at the top. And there's no drain port at the bottom. So, yeah, I don't know what those pass-throughs are for. All right, let's go ahead and put this bad boy back together and compare it to the Fractal Design 8, I think it is, XL. Yeah, the other Fractal case I have right now. Here we have the Fractal Design Define 7 or Define 8. I think it's Define 8 XL. And the Torrent. Now, a couple of amazing things to point out is how these 2 cases don't look that similar. And that is because the Torrent is actually something different from them. Lately, Fractal, and I mean, it's something that they've always done, have pretty much created a piece of tooling. The XL in this case was also used in the Meshify XL. And they also have the Define 8 and the Define 8 Meshify and all that stuff. They have a tendency to just kind of create tooling and just use that one piece of tooling constantly. But when you look at these 2 cases side by side, these are very different cases. And surprisingly, this one's not that much smaller than this one, but it feels smaller. I guess maybe because of its rounded corners, something about it feels smaller. And I do like that this piece is completely covered. Something that is well known about my secondary computer as opposed to my primary, which is a liquid cooled ball to the wall type system. I tend to keep this one on a pedestal underneath my desk, which will still be happening. This will fit probably to the maximum amount. That one barely fit before. But I'm not as worried about having this down there with this top panel being solid the way it is. Plus the pedestal, I actually use a material on it that's actually great for airflow. I use it even underneath my main PC as is on the desk because it's like a divoted material. It's awesome. But overall, Fractal. I kind of love how this case looks. And the only way we're really going to know how good it really is if we build in it. So we're done. The build has been completed in the Fractal Torrent. And it's actually been a little while since I recorded the entirety of the build, and that's for a very good reason. One, we've been on a bit of a hiatus for the holidays, you know, taking some time to myself to relax. I got sick, you know, it's been hard to record while I am dying. But more importantly, I've been having an issue with it, and I was trying to see if it's finally resolved or not. And that is that the glass back panel, for some reason on my unit, the adhesive hasn't really adhered very well. And as early as the build, I knew something was wrong, which is why I held off as long as I did. You see, I almost dropped the back panel because the adhesive on the grip piece that's used to pull it off came off. And then when I actually adhered the back panel to the back of the case and moved it into place, a couple days later, the adhesive released on the back, leaving the panel hanging only by the pegs that peg into the top of the case. This was concerning, and so I tried to re-adhere it, and when I brought the case back out to film the B-roll, it had popped off again. Currently, it appears that it has adhered properly. But it is something that I wanted to note, especially because the back is particularly difficult to cable manage in. It's not that this case is bad per se, but because of its reverse layout, some things don't sit just right. In fact, they probably should have inverted them in the back tray so that they would sit a little bit better. Most of your room for cable management is actually towards the top by the power supply, and a lot of it was used in my case. But because I have a hard drive, and an SSD towards the bottom of the case, all of those cables kind of just amalgamate in the back. And because there's really only so much you can do with the stupid power supply that I currently use in this build to manage those cables, it did pose kind of a problem. Now, I did manage it pretty well, and it still was having issues. So in order to mitigate those issues, I used some duct tape. I'm not proud of it. I haven't used tape in a build since like the freaking Thermaltake Commander 2, but yeah, I used tape, and it worked. As I said, not proud of it, but it did work. Overall though, the build does look pretty nice. The metal coloring looks great. The actual sound of the case when running is nice. Like the actual turbulence in this case is actually great, and temperatures do match up pretty well. And it is impressively quiet as compared to Supernova, which, trust me, is going to be the next case, and more importantly, build that I will be touching. But that being said, with the issues I've had with this case, I do kind of recommend the metal back panel if you can get it. I don't think Fractal sells the glass and metal combined. I think they currently only sell the glass and glass and metal. I would personally recommend the metal back panel as opposed to the glass back panel for the issues that I have outlined. But this is just one case that you guys voted on. The second case is going to be an interesting challenge because I'm going to be taking this exact same PC and transplanting it into that case. So, I mean, I don't really have to live with this back panel too much, but either way, it's a really cool case. Fractal, you did a good job. Just, I would do for version 2, take the cable management style that you used in the new Define series and just take that, put it in this, you'd be done. It's that simple. You can even reuse some tooling. I know you guys like that. But that's where we're gonna end here today, guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, you can leave it a like, comment, subscribe. If there's something that you want me to take a look at, drop it down in the comments section because I'm always looking for new ideas, and we have a brand new year ahead of us. So yeah, Happy New Year, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. Wolfie, out.